Hello, people of the internet. So today we're actually fixing something because the weather's nice. Monsoon season's over and we have left the center of the sun. So, right on. The water pump gasket on the Wrangler started to leak. I've been putting it off for a while just because it doesn't leak bad. I don't lose a lot of fluid. It's more of an annoying smell than anything else. But I've got a pump, I've got extra gaskets. I figure I'll just go ahead and change it. The pump's actually still good. The truck doesn't overheat or do anything silly. It just has a small leak, and you know how that goes. If you don't stay on top of it, you got a small thing turns into a big thing, and then next thing you know, center of the earth is falling out. So we're gonna come over and look at it, see what we got, and let's see what we're doing. So this is a 2010 Wrangler Unlimited 4-door style. Let's change the angle here. There we go. With 3.8. Your water pump is that guy right there. You're gonna need my hand out of the way. That item right here. That guy right there is your tensioner. You're gonna need a I use a belt tensioning tool, but let's see here. Let's see. This square back here is 3/8, and that one feels like it's probably 1/2 inch. So if you have a breaker bar for like 3/8 or 1/2 inch, you can also do it. The bolts on the front here that hold this pulley on are 13 millimeter. You got hex head anyway. They're 13 millimeter head. You got 3 of them. And the ones back here that actually hold the water pump on, I believe these are 10 millimeter, but we'll double check that once the belt and everything is off. You're gonna want to have, well, I do anyway. You want to have a catch bucket, and with all this fun off-roading gear on here, it is not the easiest to get to the, let me see if I can find my light. It's not the easiest to get to the drain for the radiator. I'm gonna see if I can get it on camera. I don't, it's really tough to tell. Boop, boop. Because all my wires and stuff are in the way. But basically, way back there, if you look back past this ear here, there's another corrugated, actually you can kind of see it. There's a blue-green stripe. Let's see here, can I zoom in a little bit? Maybe, if I can figure out how to work. Ooh, super zoom. All right, if you see, focus for my camera, come on. There's kind of a blue-green dot back there. I know it's hard to see. Just to the right of it, there's a vertical rectangle. That's actually your drain plug there. That's what you need to reach in and turn to make it drain. There is a small spout down out of the bottom. I ran a piece of tubing and into the catch bucket. So I'm gonna fight that thing loose. Really long set of pliers is what I used last time. Some people do recommend you take the grill off. I didn't find that the grill necessarily had to be off. I don't think it helped me a whole lot. But I'm gonna dig up a big set of pliers. I'm gonna start draining this, and then we'll come back when it's time to get the belt and the actual pump and everything off. All right, so we got the long pliers. We're gonna see if I can show you this on film. Or, well, I guess it's not film anymore. It's all on digital. I really dislike this. It is in just a tremendously bad location. Oh, hey, and that was a wire I was trying to pinch. Don't pinch wires, folks. That could be why it didn't want to. Okay, I am on it. I'm not pinching the wire. Please turn. Nope, I'm flexing it. Okay, it is just a difficult situation with all this. If you don't have like the winch and the off-road bumper and everything, it's a lot easier. So I'm gonna get this done off camera, and then we'll come back. Well, that took longer than it should have, but it's starting to drain. Everything's good. The nice thing, if you're gonna be doing stuff like this, have a dedicated coolant catch bucket. So if you've got a vehicle like mine where the coolant is good in it, it's not nasty, junky, icky coolant, you can reuse it, because I just put this in here like a year and a half ago. I don't have additives or anything weird in it. If you have a dedicated bucket that is just for catching coolant, you can usually just simply hose them out later, let them dry. I generally keep this one face down. That way it doesn't collect a lot of dust and dirt and stuff like that. I keep all the plugs and stuff in it while it's not in use, and then you can reuse this coolant at the end. It saves you a little bit on the job, but obviously this is not going to be a fast drain, so we'll come back in a while. Okay, 6 years later, after it's drained out, or at least the radiator's drained, we're here. And remember, even when you drain the radiator in systems like this, where the lower radiator hose isn't directly connected to the water pump sits on a housing, the hose goes into the housing. When the water pump comes off, you're likely going to have liquid spillage, so just be mindful of that. You know, have whatever you plan on doing to be mindful of it, be mindful of it. So first, what we're going to do, I've got my helper out, and we're trying to do stuff. First, what we're going to do is take and loosen these 3 bolts here. Like I said, these are 13 millimeter head. I'm going to use a quick little impact on them just to get them loose. Some people like to use all sorts of tools. There's all sorts of methods. You can put a strap wrench on it. You can over tension the belt. Lots of stuff. I'm just using a 90-degree impact because that's what I got. All right. Now that's there, you're going to want to take your whatever device you're going to use for your tensioner. It goes into the near hole here. The other hole that I thought might have been a 1/2 inch option is not. So it's 3/8. Heck, it's 3/8 square drive. And you can always tell what direction your tensioner goes by where the belt is. You pull it away, you get the belt loose, pop the belt free from the pulleys, and the tensioner is going to spring up. It's going to do its tensiony thing, and we're going to pull the belt out of the way. Actually, I'm going to take it off so it doesn't get wet. Really don't want any kind of chemical and stuff getting on the belt. You don't want oil on it. You don't want coolant on it.
Focus, camera, focus.
All right, so get these guys out. You probably heard one of them drop as I was moving the belt. When I put these on, it looks like last time I did it, I probably just used a little bit of anti-seize on there, which isn't bad. Some people prefer blue Loctite. I would definitely not go red Loctite. But you know, a little anti-seize, see, it's not leaking from the weep hole. The bearing's not making any noise. It's just leaking out of the gasket. I think right in this area here. Now you can access all your bolts again. Those bolts are going to be a 10 millimeter head. So far the tools you need are just 10 mil socket, 13 mil socket, and you know, some basic ratchets and stuff, hand tools. Something I like to do when I'm taking bolts out of things like this, just to make sure, because sometimes when you're doing stuff, sometimes the bolts are different lengths, or you might have a bolt and studs, different stuff like that. Put them into the new pump in the same place, and then you can, once the old pump's off, you can transfer them back, and you'll always know where the bolts go. So we're gonna get this out and come back, because you don't need to see me taking bolts out. All right, and this is just what I'm talking about. Just lay them into the new one, and then you can transfer them in the same order onto the old one. Once the old one's off, put everything together. On these gaskets here, they are directional. There is this integrated face here. This is a much nicer gasket than the one that came with my last water pump. There are a lot of back and forths on RTVs. On this one, it has this on one side, and it does not on the other. My experience, anecdotally, personally, has been that you apply a thin layer of RTV to the non-injected side, and it's fine. You don't want to put it on both sides generally. Some people do, and that's you. You do you. It's your life. But if it's injected on both sides, I don't use RTV at all. If it's injected on one side, I do a thin coat. And by thin coat, I mean stick it on with your finger and smudge it around and clean it up. It doesn't need to squeeze out of anything like toothpaste coming out of a tube when it's done. Doesn't need to be on that thick. We're not putting oil pans on here. You know, we're not doing rear diff covers with no gaskets, oil pans with no gaskets, stuff like that. So just be mindful of that. And also on here, right down here, is a good pry point lip. It's actually raised up a little bit on the water pump body and below the engine block, or the cover block. So it's right, no, I forgot. No, it's right here. This reinforcing rib. That's a good pry point. So we're going to get the pry bar, put it in there, and give it a, and see what I mean? That's why we got the bucket down there. And there will be a splash zone, so, you know, be mindful, be careful. And when you're refilling this one, you know, make sure your heat's on as the engine's running and you're filling it up. That way you prevent as many air pockets as you can. You don't want air pockets in your cooling system. That's a good way to overheat and have your engine self-destruct. And there it goes. That's a little aggressive, but it got the job done. Also, on these bolts here, since none of them were RTV'd in place originally, sometimes when doing a water pump, not on this one, sometimes you have to RTV the threads. I just use a little anti-seize, that way it doesn't corrode up into whatever it's screwed into. So now, we got that. And it looks like the old gasket pretty well came off nicely with the water pump down there, wherever it landed. It's down there in like the steering linkage. So we'll need to wipe this up, clean it up, and hit it with the carbide scraper. I use a carbide scraper anyway. Razor blade works. Some people like to use the Scotch-Brite. Some people like to use the 3M. 3M makes a roll lock disc. It's got all these little fingers on it. It's great for cleaning gasket surfaces, as long as you use the right grit. They're color coded, so some of them are more aggressive than others. You just want one that's just enough to knock the gasket material and stuff off, not enough to actually damage the mounting surface. Now let's get everything cleaned up. We'll come back in a minute. All right, and as you can see, we have the new water pump on. We have a slim, thin coat of RTV on the back side of the gasket. The face, the water pump side of the gasket, had the injection in it, so we do not coat that. I have started a few bolts out of it, a little bit of anti-seize on them. Now, for those of you that want to, the water pump bolts, these guys, get torqued to 105 inch-pounds foot-pounds. If you try to put 105 foot-pounds on it, you're going to be in for a bad day. Don't do that. And the 3 bolts that hold the pulley in place get torqued to 250 inch-pounds. I'm sure a lot of people out there are just going to do this by hand and by feel and go for it. But if you want the actual torque, and I will write it in the description as well, it is 105 on the actual pump body bolts, and it's 250 on the pulley bolts. So we're going to get this tightened up and come back and start refilling and doing that part. All right, so everything's back together. I didn't show that. Installation is opposite of removal, so, you know, you can figure it out. I did look up a picture of the belt routing. See here? That is your belt routing. Oop, man, my phone went out. Not using it enough, that's what that is. There we go, one more time. There's your belt routing. My Jeep does not have a sticker. I probably cut it out when I cut the hood up to put the vents in. But, you know, no sticker and no belt routing sticker anywhere else. The next thing I would suggest you do on this is, before you're done with the belt, just make sure that the belt's lined up properly on any pulleys. It's not missing any teeth. You know, you didn't get it misaligned, skipped a tooth, anything like that. And now we're going to go to the filling process. And you can fill without it running. That's not a big problem. But this one, I don't find any water buildup issues or like air pocket issues with this really, except in the heater core, which is why I say turn the heater on full max, full blast, and just make sure it's on and open and circulating while you're filling this. You can pre-fill just without the engine running or anything. Once you get it filled up into the radiator, go ahead, turn your engine on, turn your heater on, and then, you know, check top up as needed, use appropriate antifreeze, and then you're just going to want to go through and check with a light and make sure that there's no leaks or anything like that. So we're going to get started on that. I don't think you guys need to see how to pour fluid into radiator. If you do, I'm sure there's another YouTube video for that. So we'll get started and come back. Everything will be running and we'll do a leak inspection. All right, so we've had this running for a while. It's up to operating temperature. Things to note: you may get some squeaky pulleys and stuff as any residual like liquid is on them and things of that nature. So, you know, like I thought I was having an issue with my air compressor, and the squeak went away after everything dried up. So it's fine. You get a little bit of squeaks every now and then, and hopefully they go away. If they don't go away, then you need to look into them. It's been up to operating temperature for a few minutes. It has burped, and, you know, so we're doing pretty good there. And we've been around it. I see no new leaks, and it's not leaking from the same spot that it had been, which is great. We're so gonna let it run for a little bit longer, but I think this job is buttoned up and done. So easy job, nothing difficult, just changing the water pump on a Jeep. Trying to get back into doing car related content since, you know, it's not miserable outside anymore, and we can do that sort of thing. Everybody get out, have fun, go do something you like.